criminal justice system, some threats can't be seen, only sensed. On the front lines are canine handlers and their dogs. One trained by discipline, the other driven by instinct. Together they search, track, and take down those who run. This is their training.
All the dog is seeing is the odors present. No idea if the real stuff is pure, right? If I come in and pop some popcorn in the microwave in here, take my popcorn and leave, it's still gonna smell like popcorn in here, even though there's no popcorn.
With the new handlers getting comfortable with their new jobs, they spend some time learning in the classroom, but even more time in the field with their brand new partners. One of those new lessons is the art of tracking.
Hot dogs, that's a delicious food for them. They really enjoy eating it. And we're teaching them that, hey, wherever the odor of this crushed vegetation is, there's also the presence of this hot dog, right? And right now, all we're doing is pairing those two things. So we have something that means nothing, the odor of crushed vegetation, and something of high value, food, or a hot dog in the sense. And the dogs learn over time, wherever there's crushed vegetation, they're hot dogs. Because unfortunately, suspects or missing persons don't typically take sliced hot dogs with them and leave trails behind them. So we teach the dogs over time, through a reduction of the hot dogs, that they learn to work and search through that odor of crushed vegetation, which now has a very high meaning because we paired it with the presence of those hot dogs. And we'll use that to teach them to get to the end, which is where their ultimate goal will be.
When you get to the very end, you do your last one, big step off, circle way out wide, and don't walk through your buddy's track who's gonna be beside you. All right, easy enough?
Yep.
All right, cool.
There is some science to dog training, and the folks here at CMPD are very familiar with it. The new handlers are given tips on every step of the process, from how to step out the tracks, how to lay them, and even how to cut the hot dogs used as treats that lay along the tracks.
Getting the smell of hot dogs off our hand. We've been cutting a ton of hot dogs up, obviously, like introducing the crushed vegetation, scent pads, starting the basics of tracking and stuff like that. But no, it's been going great. It's obviously that it's super cold out, being this time of year in early January as well. But like I said, it's going great.
Once the handlers have prepared the tracks, they take the dogs out to give them a try.
We out of weenies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cam, man, he's funny. He's a great dog, very motivated, high drive, loves to be loved on. Say we're working through him jumping all over me and the other trainers right now, but no, he's great, very motivated. Like I said, I've seen little progress each and every day with him.
For me right now, I think it is personally realizing that every dog learns and develops at different speeds. Like Luffy, he's not as food motivated as the other dogs. And in the early stages of training, obviously food is a huge motivator for each task that we use. So just being patient with him and realizing, hey, once he understands, okay, this is what I'm doing, and giving him the opportunity to actually learn and grow and complete the tasks is definitely the biggest challenge for me. Unlike one of my classmates, I do not have prior dog experience. So I've been training house dogs for my entire life, but this is the first working dog that I've had. And what has surprised me the most has been how short each training session is. Like, dog's obviously not a person, so they can't sit in a classroom for 8 hours. So they have a very limited amount of time in which they can actually accomplish these tasks. And then they need a longer time to actually process, okay, this is what I learned, this is what I have to do next time.
Remember what we said about the science behind dog training?
You got a little, it's like a tire track. You got a little pigeon toed. Straighten those out. And your weenies you have the shortest weenies of all. So again, about a foot, you're working with about 2-3 inches. So just a little bit longer. Again, we're starting just to introduce, I've got to use my nose a little bit because we're trying to evolve on from, hey, there's just overabundance everywhere here in the stinky grass to, I've got to use my nose just a smidgen, right? Because we're starting to fade that away. Slowly starting to chip away at that reward. So they actually have to use their nose, and we're trying to start that pairing of that target or that reward, that first vegetation. Cool. Yep. Solid first day.
I have a general idea of how this is going to look, having gone through this a few times now. But it's always cool to see the handlers go through and see their surprise with the dog, and how happy they are to see the dog make progress. Again, there's always going to be setbacks. That's just part of dog training. That's part of life, right? There's always going to be ups and downs, and we'll have ups and downs as we go through the school and perceive setbacks, but we're all going to end in the same place. But so far, it's going really well.
All three of them have done a bang-up job with it. They've made leaps and bounds of progress in the past few days when it comes to that. We initially were kind of doing just scent squares. Just in the last 2 days, we've moved to the tracking in a straight line and understanding and just being able to watch the dog work its way in and out of the odor. Yeah, I have no doubt that all three of them will do great.
After a few attempts at tracking in a straight line, things pick up, with some chances for the dogs to try their noses at a serpentine version.
Within 2-3 days, they picked it up really good. The place we're going to, the grass is really thick, really lush, so it helps them significantly with being able to stay on those tracks. And Luffy he's been crushing it. I'm very proud of him.
Especially this week's definitely starting to feel more comfortable and normal. Once me and the dog have gotten more used to each other, and then again seeing the dogs work together, yeah, definitely.
It's cold outside, but one of the handlers thinks that may actually set these three dogs up for more success.
In the taller grass, whenever we're making our hot spots, our footsteps, it does push that grass down. So again, it's kind of going to create a pocket of air for that scent, the crushed vegetation, and then the hawk dog to kind of keep it in a little bowl. So usually when you're tracking and you run into maybe some shorter grass or dirt where that scent can kind of spread out, that scent disperses a little bit, and you'll see the dog kind of working that out.
He seems to be slowing us down a lot this week.
He's kind of figuring out.
Yeah.
We're setting our dogs up for success, and they can only do as well, obviously, with the tracks we lay. So I think, like I said, Us as handlers are improving on laying the tracks, and that's leading to a lot of success with the dogs already. The better they are at tracking, the more hot dogs they get to eat, so it's kind of a win-win. So.
I have a little bit more of an insight on the dogs than the handlers probably do, because I got to test and evaluate the dogs prior to working in the department. But you know, you look at Lucky, who probably has the highest food drive of the group, but also like probably the most stable with it. He's probably been the easiest to train so far. But again, this will continue to go up and down and change throughout the course. That's something I tell the handlers in the beginning is, don't ever feel like you have the best dog, because you won't finish that way. He'll be an all-star this week, and you'll be shaking your head next week and wondering what's going on. But so far, he's been a real pleasure to train. Really picking up what we're putting down, and really everything we've asked him to do. Cam is something. Cam has been a handful. And again, but he comes in very enthusiastic. He's excited. He's just trying to learn what he's allowed to do and what he's not allowed to do. He's tried to eat both of our odor walls. He's been a bit destructive in his first couple weeks, but I think we've handled that, and we've really turned a page in the last week or so, getting more focus and buy-in from him. But the first several weeks have been really challenging with him, just because he's such an excited, enthusiastic dog. Luffy, he's our slug of the group. None of these dogs are slow, but as far as this group goes, he's probably the slowest of the group. But I'd say he's probably the most methodical. He comes off a bit lazy compared to the other ones, but that can also be really mean the dog is he's really efficient. He'll find the easiest way to do things, and probably the least crazy out of the group when it comes to training and things along those lines. Again, it's harder to get him motivated, but once you do, he's very efficient at doing the task at hand. So again, I think he's going to be another dog. It's just going to be a lot of fun to train. I'm really excited about all three of these dogs. They all have great potential to be great working dogs and have exciting careers.
My entire almost 10-year career, it's been me focusing on, making sure I'm squared away and making sure I'm making the appropriate, actions and doing the right thing, and having that responsibility, for myself. But now it's adding the dog as well. So, yeah, it's definitely eye-opening that not only do I have to keep myself squared away, but also keep in mind what my dog is doing and how he's operating out in the field.
These dogs are capable of amazing things. They're going to keep officers safer, significantly safer. They're going to be a huge time saver when it comes to locating suspects or locating pieces of evidence. They're a tremendous de-escalation tool when it comes to dealing with suspects who are not necessarily being compliant. As many benefits as they can bring, they also have the potential to turn into liabilities as well. If they're a danger to the handler or other officers or to civilians. So it's really important that we manage these tools appropriately. They're amazing animals. They're amazing creatures. It's really cool to see all the cool stuff they can do. But again, proper management, and that's why we put so much emphasis on the school, just as much as it is training the handler as it is training the dog to go out and use this tool properly.
Join us next week for insight on how the classroom portion helps the handlers in the field.